Hello stamping friends, welcome back. This is card number 4 in the August 2014 online stamp club. I want to show you a little trick when you're making this card, especially if you're like me and you're what I call a heavy-handed stamper. This card can be very forgiving because you're actually going to be stamping straight onto the Whisper White card base. So what if you ink up your stamp too much and you get a little smidge, what I call trash, of ink on your cardstock? Okay, so let me help you with that. All right, so I'm going to be using soft suede and I'm going to ink up upside down like I like to do. And I'm using thanks very, very, very much again. And this is in the Fabulous 4. All right, that looks really good to me. So I'm going to just stamp right about there. Okay, so I did really good on that, which, you know, that's just 50-50 chance. But had I had a little smidge of ink, if you would, I can use my next layer to scoot it up as close as I need to. So stamp first, and then you're going to be adding your layers. Well, let's talk about that. You've already stamped your hardwood piece on the Whisper White, and again, those are in your instructions, and we talked about on video 1 how you would do all your stamping ahead of time and then just assemble. So I have my card base, and this card, let me just show it to you again. The wood grain is going across the bottom of the card. So I want to line this up, but instead of just attaching it like I did on one of the other videos, I'm going to go ahead, turn this upside down, take a pencil, trace off how much I want to cut off, and then that way I can just use my trimmer to cut that and not have to use my Vision like I did earlier. Or if you don't have a paper trimmer, then you could use your snips. So I'm going to just line this up like this. Cut that off. Oops. There we go. And then line this up. And when you're using the paper trimmer, there's a gutter, if you would. That's what you're looking at when you are doing your cutting. So I'm lining this up. Let me just zoom in a little bit so that you can see. I'm lining this up with the gutter so that I can cut. Okay? All right, and then holding my paper, lay this down, go ahead and cut off that piece. And then I have one more bit right here, lining it up in the gutter. There we go. Okay, so to me, that's just a little bit easier to do. And then I have my piece of soft suede. And just to refresh your memory, I could go ahead and use my snail. Line this up the way I want it. And then the only piece I have to cut off is just this little bit, so I can take my snips to that. It's not as daunting as that great big piece hanging off a while ago. And so this piece is going to go right here. Then I will take my snail, excuse me, and line this up like this. Okay. All right. So trim this off just a little bit. Okay. When I stamped my flowers, you will see in the instructions that you're going to be off stamping that as well. I'm going to lay that right there. And then my leaves. Now, I noticed when I lined this up, I don't know if you can tell in the video, I didn't overlap as well. Okay, so I'm going to use a leaf to kind of hide that. I am the queen of boo-boos. Pull this up. So there you go. If I can make the mistake, you might make the mistake. Just know that it's not lost. You can always fix things. All right, so my leaves were also stamped off to give it a softer look. And I'll add this one right here. We're going to do our center. The center was not stamped off so that it would be nice and bright. Ooh, pretty. All right, so the other thing we're going to use are some glue dots. And I love glue dots, especially for these tiny, tiny little skinny flowers, okay? So I'm going to turn these over. And you can either take the flower to the glue dot, stick it and lift it off that way, or you could use a snip. I leave them closed. I go in, I get my glue dot, stick it on there, and then ta-da, we're done. So, no such thing as a mistake. Always a chance to be creative. I hope you enjoyed this easy card, and I will see you on the next video, which is card number 5.